So hi everyone, my name is Roselkis Morla and I was a summer intern with the Hellenborg Lab at Harvard Medical School. And today I'm gonna talk about visualizations of HuBMAP diversity. So the motivation that we have for this was to serve as a reference atlas for future studies in human disease. HuBMAP needs to include a diverse population of donors representing a broad spectrum of factors affecting health. This include age, sex, race, ethnicity, and many others. So this means that in order to have like a diverse population, we need to have donors from different backgrounds so we can have a more diverse population in our database. So understanding HuBMAP diversity. Currently, there is not an easy way to get an overview of the characteristics of all HuBMAP donors. For example, if you go to the HuBMAP portal, you can if you click on any donors, you can kind of see something like this table, which it shows the characteristics of each donor. So you can kind of see the age, the blood type, the body mass index. But what about if you want to see how many donors are blood type O or how many donors are blood type AB? There is no an easy way to get access to it where you can see all the donors combined. Right now, you can just see one donor, like everything per one donor. So this is where my project comes in place. So I have to create a new page in the HuBMAP portal that contains visualizations that shows the diversity of the HuBMAP data. So the process of creating the page. First, I have to get familiar with the HuBMAP portal UI, and then I have to set up the development environment for the HuBMAP portal UI. Basically, I was able to get familiar with the HuBMAP portal, and then I was able to run the portal UI on my local computer. Then I was able to create a page where I will use to implement the visualizations. I was able to learn about React, GitHub, Elasticsearch, and Chart.js. Then in order to know what type of visualizations we needed, we need to conduct a survey, which I will talk about later. And then I sketch the graphs and tables, and then I implement the visualizations. So this one is a user survey. We implement a survey with two questions aimed at understanding which donor properties are considered most relevant to access diversity. I created a Google form for the survey. I share it with the HuBMAP members, Harvard Medical School staff and trainees, and as well as my fellow interns. I received a total of 18 responses, and the results of the survey were used to select the most important combination of donor characteristics for the visualizations. There were 4 characteristics that were really popular, which was age, sex, race, and blood type. So in order to access the information in the metadata, we need to use Elasticsearch. So Elasticsearch is a full text search and analytics engine that allows the store, search, and analyze of a big volume of data. And all the data is stored in the HuBMAP portal UI that contains all the donor characteristics. It can only be accessed through Elasticsearch. So in the right, you can kind of see an Elasticsearch query that allowed me to access to the blood type and sex. So with this type of query, I was able to create tables and graphs. So with the Elasticsearch, with the Elasticsearch query that you just said, so I was able to create this table. So in this table, you can kind of see the distribution of the blood type in the donors with all the donors divided by the male and female. And this one was the blood type and race. So you can kind of see the distribution of all the donors between like the races. So if you kind of see like how many like wide people are in the donors database have blood type A, you can kind of see that is 6, and you can kind of see which one is the most popular blood type common with the donors, which is blood type O. So this one was the my first sketches with the bar charts. So because I already created tables, we want to create some more visualizations that are more like common and more appeal to that. So we created these sketches so I can show my idea of how the bar chart should look like. So this one is a blood type, and in here you can kind of see like there is A donors that are A blood type, and this one shows that there is 12 donors that are O blood type. And this one has 2 variables, which is blood type and sex. So you can kind of see the distribution between sex and the blood type in there. And then after the sketches and after we got the responses from the survey, the only thing was how we're going to render all my sketches to the actual page. So I choose chart.js. Chart.js is a JavaScript library that allows us to render this type of charts. So as you can see, this one is one of examples from the diversity page in the HuBMAP. So this one is sex and race. So with this one, you can kind of see the distribution between the ethnicity and the sex. So if you hover over in the graph, you can kind of tell you like female, we have 22 white female, we have 2 Black or African American female, and we don't have any female that is Hispanic. So what I learned GitHub, React, Elasticsearch, Chart.js, and I also learned how the lab works remotely. Even though it was remotely, I kind of learned how each person contributes to the lab, and it was really interesting to me. And what we learned after creating the page and future improvements is like donors, the donor diversity in HuBMAP can be improved. For example, as you can see in the charts, there is not a lot of like diversity in the ethnicities. So for example, we can have Asians, we can have like more Hispanic. So we can improve that in the future. Some donor might be missing characteristics in the database, and the new visualization page can help to keep HuBMAP and the public informed about progress in recruiting more diverse donors. So for example, with this page, people can see how many donors with different type of races we already have. So they will know exactly what type of donors they will need in the future. So this is kind of like a screenshot of how the page look. I will share the link in a second. And I just want to say thank you to Dr. Niels, Chuck, John, Tiffany, and also Serena, Ajay, Julie, and HuBMAP and the NIH for funding this. And I will share the link so you can go and see it. So that's the link for the page. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Oh, is this Serena? Oh, what was the most difficult in building this page? The most difficult part was actually to make the tables in the graph connected to the metadata. So in the future, when they get more donors, all the tables and the graph will change by itself. So they are really connected to it. That was the difficult part.